Hi, my name is Barbara Harvey, and I am the Chief Consultant at Harvey Consulting Services. I want to talk to you a little bit about family friendly policies and why I think they're important. They're important not just because we can give benefit to our teams, that's important and they'll appreciate them. But a family friendly policy is only as good as the community that you build around it. And so that's what I want to talk to you about. Building a community is important because what you do in that is you build loyalty, you build a brand reputation, you build the ability to connect people with what you do. And so family friendly policies are really important for businesses to create because it helps them to really gel their teams. And so that's what we do at Harvey Consulting Services. So let me explain a little bit why I think family friendly policies and to develop a community is so important. One of my favorite stories about this comes from Simon Sinek's book Leaders Eat Last. And in that book, he talks about how during the recession of 2008, there was a company whose business leader said, I'm not laying anybody off. Nobody's getting laid off. Instead, each one of us, starting with me as your leader and head, going down to the last person hired, we're all going to take a little bit of pain so nobody has to take a lot. So what I'm going to do is everybody from me all the way down is going to take a 3-week leave. So we're going to do a furlough, and that way everybody has a little bit to give, but nobody has to lose their job, nobody has to give up. Well, once this team heard that, they got together in their individual teams and they started talking and figuring out what that was going to look like for their team. And one of the things that started to happen is that those team members who could afford to take 4 or 5 weeks furlough and those who couldn't started switching up weeks. And so it came down to those who really could afford to take 4 or 5 weeks did. And those who could only afford to do 1 or 2 weeks were able to do that because their partners did that. And to me, that is one of the most savvy, loving, beautiful, magical things I've ever heard of happening in business. And as a business leader, I want my team to feel that way. I want them to feel like because I have their back, they can have each other's back. And that's really the community I'm talking about building. The benefits of this go far beyond loyalty of your team or everybody getting along. It goes beyond that because it fosters support within your business community. If I'm a person and my wife has breast cancer and my team knows it, and so they're there for me in as many different ways as they can be, they help me stay focused on the job. Because I know that I can count on them and that they're going to be there for me, not just as my coworkers, but as people who know my life and know what's going on in my family, they are going to be more supportive of me, and I know I can depend on them. It makes coming to work a lot easier when I have problems at home. And let's just be honest. Every one of us have issues outside of the office that cause us pain, that cause us to be distracted, that cause us not to be focused on the work that we're supposed to be doing. And the purpose of having a family friendly community is that people aren't afraid or ashamed to come in and say, my husband left me with the kids and he's gone. And so, I don't know what to do. I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. I need childcare. I need this, that, and the other. And so family-friendly policies really help to create those kinds of communities where people feel supported at work. And it goes kind of beyond that. You know, we call folks work spouses for a reason because we spend so much time with them, because we interact with them. And creating an environment where families feel welcome is part of doing that. And so, one of the things we can engage with you on is helping you to set up family friendly meetings, family friendly things like company picnics, or bring your family to work day. Maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, you bring in families to see what mom or dad does at work all day long and to meet their team. And because of that, you have now form a tighter, closer knit community, because it's not just about who I know at work, but it's about Bill's wife or Susan's sister or Erica's mom. So we all know what a little bit more about family. And because of that, it causes us in the work environment to form a more family friendly environment. We start asking about, how is your grandmother doing? You know, I really enjoyed meeting her last week. And it builds a kind of community that builds a loyalty among your staff that nothing else really could, because they're connecting with each other not just as co-workers but as people. And so part of our services are about benefits, part of our services are about creating that community, but other of our services are lunch and learn, so we can come in and teach a class for your team. One of my favorites is defining values, achieving goals. It's our self-actualization class. It's where we help people figure out who they are, and where they're going. And a big part of that is that maybe a person really likes the job, but it's not the place where they thrive the most. And so they might find that there's another area in your company where they will thrive better. And they need to know that, and you need to know that. And so taking these kinds of classes will really help your whole company not only jive, but move together and become more collaborative and more helpful to one another. I really want to encourage you to think about not only what this will do within your company, but what it will do outside of your company. In other words, your brand reputation. There are two companies that have great brand reputation, and I can think of them off the top of my head. And I bet you can too. Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. They have a great loyal customer base. And the reason they do is because people know they take care of their people. Starbucks, you work for them for 16 hours and you get benefits. That is unheard of in the business community. But that is one of the reasons why people, even in the course of a pandemic, are ordering Starbucks coffee. It's because they want to keep Starbucks around, because they know that they take care of their people. Same thing with Chick-fil-A. I mean, you work for Chick-fil-A, you are guaranteed to have Sundays off. You're guaranteed to have one day that you're not working that you can spend with your family. So they have loyal customer base because they take care of their employees. They have a reputation of caring about people and not just caring about the bottom line. Don't get me wrong. The bottom line is essential. We have to make sure that we are making the money as company leaders, because otherwise we would not be company leaders. You know, we are responsible to the board. We are responsible to our stakeholders. We're responsible to our shareholders. If we're not meeting those company needs and company goals, then we're not really doing our job. But at the same time, if we're not really taking care of our people, if we're not making sure that our people's needs are met in and outside of the work environment, we're not really doing what we need to make our businesses stronger, more vibrant, more engaged. We want, if you are a business leader who wants your team to not just gel on a superficial level as coworkers, but to really gel as people, to really connect with one another in ways that will benefit them for years to come. If I know that when my wife had cancer, my team at work was there for me. They had my back. They covered me. They took care of me. They sent flowers. They sent food. They gave me hugs when I needed. They recognized when my day was just trash for one reason or another. I'm likely to stay at that company. I'm likely to be at that company way longer than the 3 to 5 years that most millennials look to change jobs because they're looking to they're looking for really what we're talking about. They're looking for this. They're looking for a place where they can connect with people in a real and meaningful way, as well as do work that they love and are passionate about. And so if this is a kind of company, if this is a kind of brand reputation that you would like to build, then Harvey Consulting Services are here for you. And I hope that you take a little time and think about this. There are some benefits for you as business leaders too. Communities like this have less absenteeism. They are able to, um, their teams work together to solve problems no matter what the problem is. Their teams are committed to the company because the company is committed to them. And those are all benefits that you will get from creating a family friendly community, a family friendly company, a family friendly reputation. It's not that hard, it's not that complicated, and Harvey Consulting Services is here to walk you through, hold your hand, help you create a community that not only serves the bottom line, but serves your people, as human beings. You know, one more thing I want to talk about is that this is something that we've been talking about in business for over 100 years. Well, almost 100 years. Napoleon Hill talked about this in his book, Think and Grow Rich. Simon Sinek talked about it in his book that I talked about earlier, Leaders Eat Last. LinkedIn has said that 2021, one of the trends, especially if we have women that work for us, is to have family friendly policies that really support them. And family friendly sometimes can mean different things. Every company, your family friendly stuff is going to be different. You know, if you have millennials and Gen Yers, your family friendly stuff is probably going to be mostly surrounded with parenting. But if you have folks that are 40 and above, you're going to dealing with the sandwich generation. So you're going to need policies that deal with the mom who has kids, but also that same mom who has a mom she's taking care of. So those are some things that you'll consider. Nowadays, people, their pets are their family and their children. So you're going to want to consider things like that. You have families who are fostering kids or relatives. They're taking care of their relatives' kids, which is a form of fostering. People have all kinds of different families nowadays, and helping them to meet those needs outside of the workplace while they're coming to work and giving their 100% focus and their all to the company is what you are looking to do. It's what you're looking to help your staff with. It's what you're looking to do to build your team. And if all of those things are true of you, reach out to us. We would love to help you create that kind of community. Thank you so much for taking a few moments to listen to me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.